Jay, welcome back to Comic-Con.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of yours. I know you've done a lot of superhero animated stuff, but now this is fantasy stuff. Talk to us about what Will Wight created with Cradle that was so unique and different.
Yeah, well, it's fantasy martial arts, right? I'm a huge kung fu fan of the Shaw Brothers and all those kind of martial arts films. And so when I read the books, I was instantly drawn to the story and the characters, and I love the idea that it's basically a zero to hero kind of storyline where you have somebody who has no powers and he has to go on this long journey to basically be the best of the best in order to save the people that he loves. And that, to me, I thought that was awesome. It was really cool. Plus, the idea that I could play in a martial arts fantasy world and kind of bring all the things that I love onto the screen. Because, I do a lot of action. I do a lot of martial arts in my, Batman and all that stuff. So now I could do it, kind of take it to that next level and do my my version of like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which to me was exciting,
I love that comparison. I can't wait to watch this. Now, let me ask you this. When adapting a book series like this, how much can you package into the adaptation? How much, there's some materials that you got to leave out for the storytelling, right?
Yes, yeah. I mean, so one of the things that we did was, the first book I told Will, the first book is great, but it starts off small compared to the later books, and the later books kind of expand huge, and some of the more fan favorite characters show up in the later books. So what I did was I said, why don't we just combine the first two first two books into one season, or in this case, in our movie, we're doing that as the first movie. But if we were going to make this into an animated series, I think I told him we'll probably do two and a half. Basically, 2.5 the first two books and half of the third book, and then do it that way. And that way, if we did the whole series, I think because there's four, we would do kind of 4 seasons of kind of 3 books per season.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, before I let you go, I'm a martial arts fan myself.
Oh, cool.
So, what type of martial arts style is applied on this show? Is it like a gun fu like John Wick, or like more a pencak silat? What is it?
Oh no! I mean, so remember there's no guns here. It's all fantasy stuff.
Right.
So it's I'm Filipino, so I try to put a screamer as much as I can.
I'm Indonesian. You're my neighbor.
Yeah. So it's wushu. You see Thai boxing. You see MMA. I mean, because remember in this world everybody has different styles, and you're gonna see them kind of fighting each other. And the fact that Lyndon is basically going to be the most powerful of them, he has to learn it all. And so I think that's kind of cool. But you'll see nuances in it that I put in there. It's some fun stuff. Because me, I like having that authenticity. So even though it's fantasy, I like to put that authenticity when you watch it and be like, oh look, there's Jeet Kune Do and stuff like that. I love doing that stuff.
I love Jeet Kune Do.
Oh yeah, who doesn't like it, right?
Jade, big fan. Cool. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Will Wight, welcome to Comic-Con.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So you're bringing the animated adaptation of Cradle to us, which is based on your books. Talk to us. How excited were you when you found out? Oh my God, it's gonna get adapted into an anime.
I didn't even believe it for a long time. That was something that it took a long time for that reality to sort of settle in for me. I still don't really believe it.
Wow. So for my fans at home, a little bit. Is this fantasy stuff with martial arts stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a martial arts fantasy. I usually pitch it as like anime on paper, or like Avatar: The Last Airbender with magic martial arts. And I kind of sell the series as it's a character who starts off with no power, but by the end he's punching Godzilla-sized kaiju monsters in the face with fireballs.
Now, Jay, I talked to Jay, the director. He told me that you guys had to maybe combine the first couple of books.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we had enough money for 90 minutes of an animatic for this first project. We're hoping to turn it into a full series, but because of that, we wanted to have as many roles as possible for these great voice actors, and we wanted to get to one of the fan favorite characters who only shows up in book 2. So in this 90 minutes, we were trying to cover books 1 and 2. Fortunately for me, they are the shortest books, but it was still hard to compress both books into 45 minutes apiece. So that's why I would love it if we went to series.
Oh, yeah. I hope it goes into series.
Thank you.
It, definitely.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So before I let you go, fun question. For my fans who are aspiring authors, how can they battle writer's block?
I think one of the best things to do to fight writer's block is to have your friends and family keep you accountable to how many words you produce, and then sit down, hammer it out, and finish the story. That's the main thing. Even when you know it's terrible, finish it anyway. Give yourself permission to write bad, because then, at the end, you can come back and make it good.
I love that advice. Yeah. Thank you so much, Will.
Thanks a lot.
So, Maxine, we're here about The Cradle, Will Wight's the animated series adaptation. Tell my viewers about what the show is about.
So this is an adaptation of the first 2 books in Will's series, And it is about a young man who is told when he's a kid that he doesn't have a soul and he doesn't have a purpose in his life. And little does he know, he's about to go on a great adventure to discover that he can create one. It's very empowering. I think it's really relatable for a lot of young people who might feel like they don't know their passion in life quite yet, but it shows you that when you meet the right people and when you follow your heart, you will always find what you're meant to do.
By the way, I love your name, Maxine Phoenix.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome. Is that stage name or real name?
It's my real name.
That's
It's my real
amazing.
name.
So what do you voice in this show?
I voice the character of Yeren, and Yeren is a fierce warrior, and she takes our main character, Lyndon, under her wing. She has been training in a very specific kind of art with her master in the way of the sword, and she teaches Lyndon not only how to navigate battles, but also how to toughen up a little bit mentally. She's a little bit of a badass.
Oh, I can't wait to watch this show. Thank you so much, Maxine.
Thank you.
Hello, Morla, correct?
Yes, that's correct, yes.
Could you introduce yourself and also your character's name and what she's about in this?
My name is Morla Gorrondona, and I voice Elder Whisper.
Awesome, awesome. So before you did this project, have you read Will Wight's books?
I hadn't. I was brand new to the series when I got the audition, but I started reading it in preparation for the session, and I do read them now. My son and I read them together.
And what's unique? What's so special compared to the other fantasy stuff that we've already done before?
Well, I think it's like it reminds me of different book series that I've encountered, having reading a lot to my son. But this one is it's different in that it has this magical element. It combines earth and tradition and a magical type of world that I've never experienced before. It reminds me of Narnia, but it's not like Narnia. It's totally different. It reminds me of something far more contemporary, but otherworldly, all at the same time. It really it's somehow like grounded and fantastical at the same time. I definitely feel the stakes are very high for the character. I care about the character, and the turns that occur were also very unexpected. So it's just exciting.
Yeah. I can't wait. Before I let you go, as a voice actor, did you have to change your cadence, alter your inflection, or did you come up with your own, like being yourself kind of thing?
Oh no, this one's very, very much a departure from the voice that you hear right now. It's very pitched, very low. It has some rasp to it, and there's very commanding and a lot of canine elements to it.
I can't wait to see it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Phil, welcome to Comic Con again.
Thank you.
Oh man, I'm a big fan of yours since Matt TV. It's
You're older than you look, Ron.
Yeah. You're a man of 1,000 voices. Tell us what you're voicing in this new show, Cradle.
I'm voicing Cyrus, the patriarch of the Y clan.
Okay. Now you've done superhero stuff. This is fantasy stuff. So what is special and different and unique about what Will Wight created?
This is great for me because these are the kind of books I read growing up. I read sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, and to be able to create characters and be part of those worlds is always such a great pleasure.
I always wondered, like in your projects, including this one, how much did you just do your own voice into the character, or do you change your inflection, cadence, anything like that?
Oh yes, no. You take in the material and you listen and you look at their design of the character and figure out, okay, a character with that background and that shape would sound like this. And you just make it real.
Last question. So when can we watch it? When can the rest of us watch this Cradle?
Oh, you got to ask the producers about that.
Okay, I will.
Nobody gives the actors the schedule.
Phil, thank you so much. Big fan.